I love to ask for help because I want to get things done faster. And so I'm more of going for efficiency than I am caring about my ego more than anything else. Today, I'm going to be talking about why you need to find a mentor and the importance of having mentors in your life. I read a statistic probably about 8 or 9 years ago at this point that says the average person who has at least $1 million net worth has had on average 7 mentors before they cross that $1 million in net worth. And I think that's really important for people out there to listen to, is because no man is an island, which means that no man, no woman has gotten to success, gotten to whatever it is that whatever the top of the mountain is they're trying to climb by themselves. There's always other people that have been supporting them and helping them throughout the entire way. And I'm going to talk about mentors and why I think they're important, because I hired my very first mentor when I was 19 years old. And the reason why I think mentors are important more than anything else, if I were to say like the number one reason why, is because they collapse time. They shorten your learning curve more than anything else so that you can get to where you want to go faster. So I'll give you a really good example. You know, they always say like men don't like they don't like asking for help, or they don't like taking advice, or they don't like asking for directions to go somewhere. I think that's complete BS, because, you know, I love to ask for help because I want to get things done faster. And so I'm more of going for efficiency than I am caring about my ego more than anything else. Some people will go, I need to get peanut butter. And then they'll walk into a grocery store and they'll walk up and down every single aisle, and they'll look left and they'll look right and they'll look left and until they can find the peanut butter. That takes a lot of time. And maybe you missed the peanut butter. Now you got to go back and look for it again. What I would prefer to do, and I do this every time I walk into a grocery store, whenever I'm trying to get something, is I walk directly to the person that's closest to me that works there. And I ask them where the peanut butter is. Why? Because they have been there before. They know where it is. And they will take you directly to where you want to go. They save you time. So you don't have to search, and you don't have to spend 20 minutes, and you don't have to mess up any of those things. They collapse time. I got shit to do. You've got shit to do. We've all got things to do. People to see, a life to create. I want to get to my place that I want to go to in life as soon as possible. The same example that I just gave you about going and finding peanut butter is what a mentor does for you. They have been there before. They've done it. They know exactly where it is. They know what's right. They know what's wrong. They can give you all of the knowledge that they have and download it into your head. It's kind of like, if you remember inside the Matrix, when Neo gets plugged into the back and then within like 30 seconds, he downloads, Kung Fu. It's kind of the exact same thing, just takes a little bit longer. They have all of the knowledge in their brain to get you to whatever it is, a successful relationship, a great marriage, being a great parent, running a multi-million-dollar business, whatever it is that you want to learn, they've got it in their brain. Why not just get them to download it into yours? Another example, like if you're in California and you want to go to Hawaii, you could take a boat to Hawaii if you wanted to. It's going to take a long time. It might take, a month to get there if you want to take a boat, or you could hop on a plane. A plane's going to get you there in a few hours. The difference is the plane, like I'm saying here, is like a mentor. They're going to get you to the destination that you want to get to as fast and efficiently as possible. A mentor collapses time. A mentor is someone who has done what you want to do. And you can have mentors in all areas of your life. You can have mentors in business. You can have mentors in your relationships. You can have mentors with handling your money. You can have mentors with making money. You can have mentors with your mindset. You can have mentors with your body. For me, I hired my very first coach, my very first mentor when I was 19 years old. I paid $500 a month for this mentor. It's funny. I was on a podcast. It's funny. It's funny reading the comments that people put out in this world. I was on someone else's podcast, and I had mentioned that when I was 19 years old, I paid $500 a month. And in the comments, we're all like, oh my God, it must be so nice to have rich parents, and people like trashing. How does a 19-year-old have $500? Like when I first started making money, I started in a sales company when I was 19 years old. The very first money that I made immediately went to hiring a mentor because that mentor is my mindset coach and he was my sales coach. I was in a sales position. He had already been the fastest person to ever hit the Hall of Fame in the company that I was in. And I said, he's already hit the Hall of Fame. I'm brand new at this. I'm like 4 months in the business. I'm just going to hire this guy and he's going to help me faster. He was the most successful person at the business that I was new in. And so why don't I just pay this guy? If I pay him $500 a month, I'm sure that over time I'm going to make my money back. And for me, that was the best decision, the best ROI that I've ever had on anything in my entire life. I believe that investing into a mentor for whatever you're trying to improve in is the best ROI you're going to ever have. If you are wanting to in this year create, the best body you ever have, well, then I would recommend that you hire some sort of mentor who has the body that you want. If you look at their body and you're like, that is the body I want, pay that person to help you get that body. They're going to teach you what workouts to do, what not to do, what food to eat, what not to eat, when to eat, how to eat, all of that stuff. They have the body that you want. Pay them the money to download the knowledge of how you can have that body as well. That's what I recommend for people. My first mentor changed my mindset. He changed my bank account. He changed my relationship with personal development, and he changed my life. And so I try to have a mentor in all areas of my life now. I recommend that you guys go out and do the same thing, whatever you can afford. And I'm going to talk about free mentors. I'm going to talk about paid mentors as well. But I personally will pay for someone to save me time so that I can get to wherever it is that I want to go quicker. And the reason why mentors work is because mentors fast track your growth because they've already made all of the mistakes. If you're trying to work out, you're trying to run a marathon. Well, if you have a marathon coach and mentor, they've already made all of the mistakes you're trying to avoid. Why not just pay them to help you get better at running a marathon in your first try? They know what works. They know what doesn't. They have proven strategies so you don't have to waste years figuring it out. If you want to run a multi-million-dollar business and you can go and hire somebody who's already been good in the industry that you're in and they're doing millions of dollars a year, and you pay them or you have some sort of value exchange, maybe you can barter something because you have some sort of value that you can give them, that's worth it for you because they can download years of knowledge into your brain, maybe a decade of knowledge into your brain in the next 6 months. For me, like one of my businesses is I teach people how to grow coaching businesses online. Why? Because I've already grown a coaching business online. I've already messed everything up. I found out what works. I found out what doesn't. Someone can spend 5 years trying to figure it out, or they can just collapse time and learn from somebody who's already built the business that they want and has taught over 2,000 coaches on how to do it. It's just getting to the peanut butter quicker. That's all that it really is. And so let's talk about different types of mentors. There's free mentors, which I do recommend, but there's also paid mentors, which I do recommend as well. And what I would recommend for you guys is whatever it is that you want to improve in this year, I would make some sort of budget for your personal growth. The same way that you budget money for your insurance and for your rent or your mortgage and your phone bill, all of that. If your growth this year is really important to you, I would recommend saving up and budgeting some sort of money for your personal growth, for whatever growth that you want to get better at this year. So let's talk about it. So there's free mentors. Free mentors are great. I've had many free mentors in my lifetime, and I have massive benefit from knowing them, from being able to text them and ask them questions, from being around them. And I found that when I'm around people that are higher level than I am, they inspire me to be better. I start to see how they operate and I start to change the way that I operate. Well, he would never do that. So why would I do this thing? I'm not going to do that. And so I recommend that you go and try to find, even if there's 1 or 2 people that might be in your life, they might be in a different industry, but you might look at them and be like, I really look up to them in some sort of way. They might be 2 or 3 years ahead of you. Spend more time with those people. You will naturally start to be better when you surround yourself with better people. I remember I have a mentor of mine. His name is David. And David is awesome guy. His goal in life was to be worth $100 million because that's just what his goal was when he wanted to be there. And he hit it by 40 years old. And then he's like, that's not inspiring anymore. Like, I'm not inspired to make money. And so then his new goal was he wanted to donate $100 million before he died as another way to start inspiring him because he had already hit his big goal. So he wants to donate $100 million before he dies, which is awesome, right? Anytime, and I've said this before on the podcast, but anytime I've ever gone to go get coffee with him or catch up with him, he always has his journal with him, his notebook, and he will take notes and write down things about our conversation. And he'll ask me questions about certain things that he's trying to improve on, and he'll take notes on it. And in the back page of his journal, he has, and he carries it with it everywhere. It carries it with him everywhere, his goals for the year that he's working on. And he reviews his goals more hardcore than any other person that I've ever seen. He reviews them every morning. He reviews them every evening. He brings them everywhere with him. They're always with this guy. You know, if we got to dinner and it's like a dinner with, you know, his wife and my wife, obviously he's not going to bring his journal and goals with him at that point in time. But anytime throughout the day, he's always got this thing with him. And it really changed my mindset of like, man, this guy has hit his biggest life goal by 40 years old and had to create another goal that was even bigger so that he could keep being motivated and inspired. And every time I see him, he's always got his goals with him. So it made me change my relationship with the way I think about my goals and how they need to be omnipresent and how I need to review them and always see them. And so just being around people like that, you know, they might be different in the way that I described than my friend David is, but they're going to make you start to think differently. You're going to start to pick up things from being around them that you might not pick up when you're around your friends that you've been friends with since high school, right? And so free mentors are great. Sometimes they can be hard to find, but I recommend doing as much networking as you possibly can. If you live, you know, outside of a big town, 45 minutes away, go to some networking events, start doing some coffee with some people, start focusing on expanding your network, and you will eventually find them. Okay, so that's free mentors. The thing about free mentors is that is a little bit of a downside. The upside is that they're free. The downside is that there's no like real cadence where you meet with them all the time. You don't see them every single week. They don't hold you accountable as much. They don't feel as obligated to your success. Paid mentors on the other side can be really great as well in many ways. They are, if you're paying somebody to download the knowledge from them in to help you be more successful in whatever it is you're trying to be successful at, they're going to hold you more accountable. They're probably going to talk to you weekly. You're going to have some specific cadence. Your success is essentially, they're obligated to help you succeed. And so the downside is you're going to have to pay. The upside of that is that your success is their obligation. If they are worth anything, they should feel responsible for your success. And so that's what it comes down to is like, maybe you don't have as much money as you wanted to. And I understand, like my very first mentor, like I told you, whatever I had, I paid him. I put on a credit card and I just tried to work it off because I wanted the life that he had so much that I was willing to pay him to download his knowledge to get there faster. And so for you, it all depends on what it is that you want with your business, with your relationships, with your body, with your mental health. You know, mentors, they don't just teach. They don't just like, you know, get on a whiteboard and say, here's what you need to do with your life. Here's what you need to do with your business. They ultimately, in the long run, they save you time in your life so that you can get to whatever success means to you, your destination faster. They save you energy so that you don't have to just keep trying things out. They save you frustration. They save you time, money, energy, frustration, all of those things. And so whether it's a free mentor or a paid mentor, they help you skip these unnecessary steps that you have to go through by just throwing crap at the wall and seeing what sticks so that ultimately you can just achieve the results that you're looking to get faster. And so the goal is very simple. What you need to do is try to figure out what are the areas of your life where you want to have mentors. And do you want to have free mentors and do you want to have paid mentors? If you want to have free mentors, you're going to possibly need to, there might be someone in your network that you should start reaching out to and start seeing more often. Or you might need to start networking to meet more people who can eventually be mentors of yours in some sort of way. If you're going to work with paid mentors, well, what areas of your life do you want to have these paid mentors in? And what is your budget? because that's going to help you figure it out. And so what I would recommend is if you're working with someone who's going to be your mentor, your coach with your body, what's your budget for it so that you can get there faster? What if you're going to have somebody who is your mentor for your mindset? What's your budget for it? If you're going to have somebody that's your mentor for your business, what is your what is your budget for it? Ultimately, I've never really heard too many people say that hiring a mentor was a bad decision. Are there bad mentors out there? Sure, I'm sure that there are. But the majority of the time, what I always hear people say is that the best ROI that they ever had was investing into themselves. And so I recommend that you figure out what your budget is for this year for your personal growth, for your growth, for your development, for hiring mentors, for reading books and buying them, for going to conferences, buying courses, whatever it is that you need to improve on. Figure out your budget. And some of you guys that are listening to this might just have extra cash where you can do it. Some of you listening to this might not. So maybe you need to save up money in order to be able to find those mentors and invest into your personal growth and your growth of your life to get to where you want to go faster. So ultimately, I do recommend that whatever it is that you're trying to get better at, find a mentor in some sort of way. They will change your life. They will help you get to where you want to go faster. Ultimately, you're going to get to the peanut butter quicker. So that's what I got for you for today's episode. If you love this episode, please share it on your Instagram stories. Tag me in at Rob Dial Jr., ROBDIALJR. And once again, if you want to go ahead and dominate your habits this year, it's going to require you to rewire parts of yourself. And I have an entire workshop that's going to teach you how to thrive in 2025, how to get rid of habits, how to create habits. If you want to sign up for it free, go to habits2025.com. Once again, habits with an S, 2025.com. And with that, I'm going to leave you the same way I leave you every single episode. Make it your mission, make somebody else's day better. I appreciate you, and I hope that you have an amazing day.